Hello, we're going to get started on our fourth and final artist this year for Meet the Masters. This is going to be the advanced tutorial for Paul Klee, my big helper. This is going to be for 4th and 5th grade. So before we get started with the teaching portion of the video, I just want to say usually we'll have the video and then we'll have the written lesson plan that you can kind of follow with during the lesson. Meet the Masters has recently updated the lesson plan, so we don't have the most updated version. So the teaching, the medium, and all of that's going to be different. So they've made it simpler for us. So we're just going to do the video, and you can follow that. And if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, now we'll begin our tutorial for the Klee Advanced lesson. So I'm filming myself, and I will do my best to make sure I keep everything in view for you. I'm gonna go ahead and prop you up. So we are in my dining room, and it's taken over at the moment by my garden starting seeds and my kiddos' current Lego build. So I apologize for the mess if you can see it back there. All right, so we'll get started. You guys will have your buckets at the top of the drawers, and inside you're going to find watercolor crayons. You'll have the little plastic cups that you'll fill with water, and then you'll get the giant bag of Q-tips that you'll hand out to the kids. I like to do the water at the very end, just makes it easy and less risk of a spill. So you'll have two choices of watercolor crayons. Doesn't matter which one's in the bucket because they're both great. And then you're going to see an example. So this is a very bright, colorful picture. So I talked about how the video and the lesson plans don't match just yet because Meet the Masters has recently updated it. So again, not to worry, just follow the video. It's fun, it's unique, and it's an easy one to do. So in your teacher's drawers that you pull out with their names, you're going to have the little handout that talks about Paul Klee, his abstract shape, talking about differences between a realistic looking tree and then an abstract looking tree. They can practice if time allows. They can talk about showing movement with patterns and repeating patterns and how it can appear to the eye that things are moving. And then it talks about the actual project, which is we're going to do a tree house. And then on this little area too, I'll blow it up for you as well. This talks about symbols that he would put into his artwork. You'll see in WordPress when you look at the pictures up on the big screen with the kids, he would insert some symbols into his pictures. So that was something that was common for him. So Paul Klee was a unique artist. He loved music, he loved art, he liked abstract work, he liked things that were big and bright and bold, and he had almost a childish characteristic about his painting. So he was just a very unique artist. So what we're gonna do, we'll get our one sheet of white paper, and then we'll set it down in front of us. Make sure you can see this good. And we'll get our crayons. So as a reminder, I like to tell the kids, make sure that they keep their crayons together because we don't want to lose them or break them. So we pull out a color at a time. And the first thing that we're gonna start off with is the land, so to speak, and then we'll draw the tree. Now, it can be any color that you want. So I have an example here, and I'll try and do something that's completely different on this next one. So we have one crayon, and we're just gonna draw a little land area, and we want to keep it down low to the bottom of the page so that we have plenty of room to draw our tree house. And then I'll come over here and I will extend our land, and then I think I might draw one more, and then I'll come down here. Now we're going to start the tree. So they can do about 2 finger widths across or 3, I would say at the biggest. So I'm gonna grab a crayon, and we just want to change crayons frequently and make it bright and colorful. When they're done with the crayon, put it back in the box. So I'm gonna give myself a little measurement here. So that's about how wide I want my tree. And I'm gonna bring up the trunk, and then I'm gonna bring it across like this. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna draw my trunk up and then carry it out that way. Then I'm gonna come in on the side and just make a small branch here. I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna continue my tree up. Same thing over here. I get a branch, and then we'll continue our tree trunk up here. We'll give it a V as most trees would. So that's gonna be about the base of our picture. And now we get to be colorful. So I think we'll draw some yellow leaves over here, and then maybe some orange leaves over here, and then some red leaves this way. And then over here, I'm gonna leave room to do my treehouse. So I wanna think about what colors I've already got on the page and make sure I use something else. So I'm going to draw a green treehouse, and I will give it a purple roof. And then I think I'll give a little orange one next with maybe a red roof. So that's looking good so far. It's bright, it's colorful. And then we need a ladder to go up to our tree house. So we'll just draw 2 lines. And then we'll draw some rungs. And that is looking pretty good. Now you'll notice here that there are a couple of symbols. We talked about that in the paper, that he would fit in some symbols. So I think we'll add, and I want to try and balance out my colors. So if I have yellow over here, that's the only yellow I've used. And I think I will draw perhaps a yellow fish down here. And then I think I will do something green, maybe a green little bush here. And I will give it some purple flowers. And I'll circle those in. So obviously this is kind of a unique, relaxed picture. They get to really make it however they want. We'll give them the guidelines of how to follow along, and then they get to be creative. So that's it for that. I think it looks pretty good. Now it's going to be time to color everything in. So I've got red here and red here. I'm going to fill in the red. And if you've never drawn or colored with watercolor crayons, they're just like regular crayons, but the fun part comes at the very end when we get to get it wet. So it doesn't matter what direction you're coloring, it'll all blend in very nicely. Talk to the kids about warm colors, cool colors, just kind of reiterate the lessons that we've learned over the years so far, and how if we apply hard pressure, the color comes out darker and more bold. Same thing with lighter pressure, means that it's going to be lighter. And another fun thing about the watercolor crayons is you don't have to color everything in all the way, so you can still leave flecks of white in the back, and it will blend in rather well when we get it wet. And I think I'm going to add some shapes into my tree. So I think on this one we had some triangles. I think I'll do some circles on this one. So we'll just color everything in. Kind of makes it easier if you've got everything laid out and then you know where your sections are. So I'll do all my red sections here. And then I'll come through, and I've got my yellow, so now I'll color in yellow up here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because once we blend it out with the water, it'll look really good. And this yellow is actually so pretty when you get it wet. All right, we'll come down here, we'll do our fish. And I'm just trying to hurry for video purposes so you're not just watching me color. So I will go ahead and pause. I'm just gonna finish coloring in everything. So this will be blue, this will be orange, this will be blue, and that way you're not watching me. And I'll check in with you in just a moment. Okay, so we're back and I've colored everything in. And here comes the fun part. So we'll tell the kids, all right, once you finish coloring, make sure you put all your crayons back in your box, put the lid on it, and then set it aside. And then we'll hand out the little cups, and those will be the clear cups at school with just a little bit of water. You really don't need that much. And then we'll get our Q-tip. So as a rule, just not a rule, but makes it easier, is to start with the lightest colors first and then work our way up to the darkest. So I'm just gonna get my Q-tip wet. I'm gonna tap off the excess water. They can have paper towels at their desk too if needed. And with the side of the Q-tip, we'll go over the yellow. And then as we get it wet, we see that that crayon turns into almost like a watercolor paint. And then I'm gonna go over everything that's yellow. And that looks pretty good. And then you'll see your Q-tip actually has picked up some of the color left over. And the next color I'm gonna go to is orange. And then you can see how you have the yellow on there. Now you've got a little bit of orange, so it's just shading it and giving it such a pretty color. And then just keep going over with the side of the Q-tip and color over all of your colors. Remember, not too much water. If we use too much water, we can actually rip the paper, and we can also, if we use too much water, it'll actually dilute your colors, so it won't be as nice and bright and vivid. So we'll just go over all of our colors like this, and then you can see that the sections, we didn't even color them in completely, but once they get wet, they all blend in quite nicely. So it's looking pretty good. I think the next color I'm gonna go to is red. So I'll tap some water, knock off the extra. Tap it off, come over here to the red. And then we'll just follow along. There we go. Come and do our circles for the tree. You can see if we don't use too much water, it's nice and bright. And it can pick up any of the other extra colors that it's next to. It blends in nicely, just like a watercolor. And then we'll finish that through. A nice colorful project. All right, so I think we've got all of those. Now I'm gonna flip my Q-tip over, get the clean side ready, and now I'll tap off the extra and I'm gonna go with green. So I'll go over our greens here. And again, they can use whatever colors they want, whatever color scheme they're looking for. We just kind of want to use all the colors, balance them out. The only thing we're not using is brown or black. Okay, next color I'm gonna go is the blue. And you can see that I had that green on there, and once I go to the blue, it just makes it such a pretty shade of a greenish blue right there. And then we'll just keep going through. Remember, not too much water. almost done with the blue here. There we go. Last little bit down here on our land part. And we'll just get all of that blended out. Okay, now our last color is the purple. That's it. And then we can do our circles. You could go over the green too when we were doing the green if you like, and that's about it. So it's a different fun project, and then they'll have their picture, and I'll put construction paper in their drawers so they can glue it to make a nice little border to frame it. And then on the back side, they'll glue the artist information like usual, make sure that they put their names on it, and then the teacher can display them if they want, or they can take them home that same day. So that is our Paul Klee Advanced project. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks so much. Have a good day.